Go to this URL. I want to be able to track customer orders. When a user makes a purchase, I'm going to use Django signals to create a Stripe customer object. I want to associate each user with their profile. I need to change my model. So in profiles models.py, first we will import all the settings. Then we will add a new field called user. User will be associated with the auth user model. So on line 2, type from django.conf import settings. Then on line 9, type user equals models.one-to-one field settings.auth user model null equals true, and then finally blank equals true. A one-to-one field is a foreign key. It allows me to relate the profile model to the user model. I'm going to make a new model. So type class user stripe models.model colon user equals models dot one-to-one field settings dot auth user model. And we'll have another field that on line 16 that will be stripe ID equals models.car field max underscore length will be 200. And we will have null equals true and blank equals true as well. Finally, on line 18, write def Unicode self, and then we'll do if self.stripe underscore ID will return the string of self.stripe underscore ID, else return self.user.username. So if there is a Stripe ID, the Unicode will return the user's Stripe ID. If the user does not have a Stripe ID, the Unicode will return the username. So I need to import all auth signals. On line 4, type in from allauth.account.signals import user logged in and user signed up. Then on line 17, change blank to have a lowercase b, and do the same for blank on line 9. Should be lowercase b blank. Save that. I want to add the model user stripe to admin. Open profiles/admin.py and type from.models import profile user stripe. Class user stripe admin. Admin.model admin. Class meta model equals user stripe. Admin.site.register. User stripe admin. Save profile/admin.py and open your terminal. Run python manage.py make migrations, then run python manage.py migrate. Get your server going and go back into Chrome and go to /admin. Click on Profiles. Click Add Profile. There's now a user field. The user field associates a profile with a user. Fill this form out and save it. Now click Add Profile one more time. Try saving the form with the same user. I get an error message because the user model is an one-to-one field. Therefore, each user can only be associated with one profile. Go back to /admin. This time click on user stripes and hit add user stripe. I can now associate a user with a stripe ID. I'm going to implement a signal called user logged in. When a user logs in, a signal will be sent to a receiver function, which will do something. Go to this URL. The documentation has example code for a receiver function and for connecting receiver functions. Copy the receiver function example code, def my callback, all the way down through print, request finished, and open profiles models.py. Paste on line 25. Keyy stands for keywords argument. I want to see which arguments are sent with my callback, so type print keywords. Go back to Django's documentation, scroll down to connecting receiver functions, and copy request_finished.connect my callback. This line of code is connecting a signal to a receiver function called my callback. In my project, I want to connect the signal user logged in to my callback. So open profiles models.py after copying request_finish.connect my callback. Go back to your models.py and paste onto line 29. And then instead of request finish, delete that and type user_logged_in. So now when a user logs in, this function will connect to my callback. Save models.py. Go back to your home page, and from the navbar log out, then log back in. Open terminal. Scroll up until you find request finish printed. Under request finished, the keyword arguments are printed in a dictionary. Instead of printing all the keyword arguments, I only want to print the user parameter. So open profiles models.py and delete keywords and instead print user, and then type in request and user. Save models.py, go back to the site's homepage, log out, then log back in. Open your terminal, and the user is printed. When a user logs in, I want my model to create a profile and a user stripe in the database. So go to /admin, click on profiles, and check all the profiles. I'll delete the one I have, and go to /admin, this time click on user stripes, and if you have any user stripes, delete them. Go back to models.py for profiles, and delete print request finished. Type ID stripe, comma created, equals user stripe dot objects dot get or create user equals user. Then below that, type if created, print created for %s %user.username. And this will use string substitution to print a message, and it will say created for the username. And then delete print user. When users log in, I also want my model to create a profile for them. So type user profile, comma, is underscore created equals profile dot objects dot get or create user equals user. And then below that, type if is underscore created And then we'll have user profile.name equals user.username. And then we'll save the user profile with user profile.save. Now, if ID stripe is created for username will be printed through string substitution. If a profile is created, the username is saved as the profile name. Go back to the site's homepage, log out, and then log back in. Go to /admin and click on Profiles. There is a profile with my username as the profile name. Go back to /admin and click on User Stripe. Click on the user stripe. There is no stripe ID. However, this instance of user stripe is associated with my username. Open profiles models.py. I'm going to refactor this code. I want two callbacks, one for profile, the other for stripe ID. So type def stripe callback sender request user and then asterisk keywargs, which is keyword arguments, and then have ID stripe created equals user stripe dot objects dot get or create user equals user. And then below, if created, print created for %s %user.username. Then on line 40, delete my callback, and in its place, have it take the argument stripe callback. So now when a user logs in, it will connect to stripe callback. And then type def profile callback, and this will take the same arguments. So just copy and paste in sender request user keywargs, and then user profile is underscore created equals profile dot objects dot get or create user equals user, and then if is underscore created user profile dot name equals user dot username, and then user profile dot save. Copy user logged in dot connect stripe callback and paste it below, and instead of stripe callback, have it take the argument profile callback, and delete my callback from line 25 to 33. Stripe callback and profile callback do the same thing as my callback did before I refactored it. Separating the callbacks like this makes the code more readable and maintainable. Right now, the user profile is created when a user signs in. I want the user profile to be created for a user when they sign up. I'll use the user signed up signal. So delete user underscore logged in and type user underscore signed up. Now a profile will be created when the user signs up.